go.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's up, everybody? What's good? It's OG. Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's get into it. You already know what we're doing here today, man.
Yes, sir. It's
Yes, sir.
your boy TV, Taylor Barnes, TV Respect. We're here to talk about some important topics
Some
today.
important stuff.
But first, we're going to get into the purpose of the podcast. We're here to give a voice to the voiceless, the silenced, talk about topics that just are not really pushed much in the media. Yeah, you want to add to that?
Well, yeah, like I said, I'm OG, so like a lot of what I do is just like creativity, just creating. I create a lot of content. I create a lot of music. I create a lot of influential relationships, and I would say what coincides with my purpose is starting a podcast where, kind of like TB said, we can get the voice of the unheard out there, but really it's just to bring focus to the stuff that's not happening right in front of your face that you can't see or maybe haven't thought about, to share perspectives as to like maybe what's going on in our lives and things that we can maybe see is being replicated out there in society as well.
Facts.
Number one, we just want to educate as much as we can and just learn also perspectives. Yeah.
So we're going over society concepts. One of the things I wanted to talk about was truth versus lies, ignorance. A lot of things that are promoted in the media today it's either false, extorted truth, or there's an agenda behind it. I stand on truth, and that's just something I want to promote. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. Anything you want to say about that one?
For sure. I think we can obviously tell when people are being pushed to say certain things, it's unnatural. So from that unnatural feeling, we know the media itself is unnatural, because why do they have such a big push for things that we have no idea about? Mm-hmm. Like, how can a media source that's so powerful obviously be outright purposeful? I don't know. I don't see the media being as truthful as we think. So, I think that propagates a lot of lies. We see today in society that like they want you to believe certain things that might be unnatural. Like, and it obviously isn't true, but they keep trying to push that narrative. Like, what would you say some truths and some lies are in society today?
For example, the truth that you can, like be whoever you want, like the American dream is a lie in itself. Like you gotta kind of follow the rules of who's ever ahead of you, and hard work is good, but that's not what it takes to excel. I just think that we're in a maze of a system, and that people like to think it's just black and white and it's just straightforward, but no, it's a maze, and you got to find the algorithm. So
another thing is there's a lot of hierarchy going on. So he said you got to fit within the algorithm to get somewhere. That's very true. You do got to pay your dues. You got to go through the system per se, and there's always going to be a hierarchy. Whoever's working the hardest and has the most blah 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 reward from that set has the most power, right? So we like to think, unless it's passed down generationally. But for the most part, you do have to be stuck within a rat race at some point to be able to make it out. And it's not saying it's impossible, but one of the lies they tell you is you can have anything you want. You just don't have to work for it. It'll just come to you. It's divine intervention. It's destiny. I don't really see that happening. You can't just sit there and wish for $1 million and not work for it. You can't just sit there and wish for a great family and not, make yourself that component that's successful to it. So I think there's a lot of lies, but like comfortability is one of the lies they're spreading.
Definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to talk about school/indoctrination, right?
For sure. I could touch on that. I was just talking about comfortability not too long ago. And what's crazy about that is we put ourselves in school, or we're forced to go to school for what's the purpose? Inevitably, like back then, it was to grab a good 9 to 5, live whatever you have, and like make it work and have a family. But now it's like we're being pushed in school because we have to, not because we understand the purpose. So I just see a lot of heads in school not knowing what they want to do. And, there's so much debt out there. It's like, why are we spending so much money to go someplace that's not guaranteed? I've heard the stat that majority of people who have their degree in something don't use it for that field outside of school. So it's like, why are we putting ourselves in harm's way, getting excess debt to just be? I really do believe school brainwashes you. And school is a lot of indoctrination within the textbooks itself. Like, how can you trust the content put in textbooks when it's all been washed out? So that's my biggest thing is like, what is the purpose of school if not finding you a average paying 40K job? You feel me? Like majority of and I also wanted to touch on it, majority of concepts in school, like subjects that you have to dedicate to after your sophomore year as your major, majority of them don't give you an applicable job outside of school anyways. Like, you're going to take that and find a general job, like, you know? So I just thought it was kind of fishy.
And I will add on to what OGM was saying. School doesn't really, they don't teach you much. They teach you, about Christopher Columbus crossing the America, but I'm trying to figure out a career. And I think that we need to focus more on career-based schools. How am I going to be able to live the life I want to live? How am I going to get to the point that I want to, from point A to point B? And so that to me is just, cutting out all that indirectness and focus on how can we get direct to where we want to be so we can stop wasting people's time and wasting people's energy on stuff that's just not relevant or connected to the end goal.
Good point. And also, like, it's like, who's teaching you this stuff and who's putting this stuff into the textbooks? Like, whose idea and who's in charge of telling us what we're studying and what words are in that textbook? Because words are powerful, they literally control every aspect of how you behave. So my question that I might want people to ponder is like, who's really in charge of putting this information out there? And why do we say as a whole, that's what we have to learn? And is it helpful? But yeah.
No, hell yeah.
You also wanted to talk about something else. What else, bro?
I was going to talk about financial classes, rich versus poor. So what I wanted to talk about for this was kind of basically how it sounds. A lot of people are poor and a smaller percentage are rich. This is a class system, a hierarchy. I don't even think middle class exists anymore. That's getting wiped out because of inflation, stocks, all types of things that go into the economy. And my main point is just to say, it's pretty obvious of what, or at least from what I can see, is that we're just trying to divide people based off of the dollar bill, and we're not trying to connect people and push people forward. We're just trying to put people in a maze, put people in a stagnation. And financially, how can you blame someone for being broke when all they're trying to do is build and grow? I thought everyone's trying to live, so it kind of seems like insanity to me. But would you like to add anything to that? Or
it definitely is insane. I mean, like, this whole country was built off of like the Constitution. We the people. The government's supposed to work for us, the people, right? Is that the common people or is that the wealthy people? Because it only seems like the wealthy are being worked for and the unfortunate and poor are being worked against. Like, if you look at it, there's this big dichotomy. The biggest shift, like the top 10, 15, 20% have all the wealth, all the resources. Then the bottom 80% is like got nothing. And like you said, there's literally no middle class going on because you're either wealthy and you're good or you're not and you're nothing.
Facts.
So it's like, I see the classism you were talking about.
There's no in between, right? Because if you're in the middle, are you really rich?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. You either have absolute power or no power.
Right.
So.
And it's a good point. You either have absolute money or you have, the absolute money comes with power and resources and influence. But if you have nothing, then you have no voice. And that's why I think we started this kind of podcast.
Facts. It's like it goes into that thing with stocks. Like, how the hell are you supposed to invest if you don't even have a penny, let alone the knowledge to know how to invest, right?
Right.
It's just a trap. And these rich people own the stocks, so it's like you're giving them money essentially.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, I was gonna say, so it's basically.
Yeah, and I wanted to transition from that too, because TB mentioned a good point. Stocks. Right? This is all information that is not common information, meaning the wealthy know about this stuff, but the underprivileged, underground people don't know about this stuff. Why? They don't teach you this in school. What they teach you is be a good employee. That's what they really get you ready for. They teach you how to be on time, turn in stuff, report to someone higher up, not be a boss, but be an employee. So, all this information that will let you live a wealthy, leisure-ish, free of, time commitment, time constraints. That lifestyle is only for people who know this information. And that's why school and all these organizations only set you up for one thing, and that's to be an employee mindset. So for you to know this stuff, you have to go out and meet the people who are actually doing it. I find it weird that all my instructors aren't wealthy. and that's what I want to be. So why am I learning from someone who's only teaching me how to be poor in essence and just follow a book?
Facts.
What do you think about the employee mindset, bro? How it doesn't help us?
Yeah, the employee mindset. They want us to, just work and be a worker. They want you to be content with being told what to do, being told that you're wrong, being told this is what you could work on. And speaking for myself, I see myself as a boss. I see myself as a CEO. I don't like people talking down on me in a demeaning way, and I don't like being told what to do all the time. And that's not to say that I can't be a worker. Like, I'm a hardworking person, but we're not. A lot of people are built for different things, and there should be a route or an opportunity for ways for people to approach that position of power, rather than just having an indefinite, like, figure it out, work hard, build a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. I do believe there should be a system that helps guide you to where you want to be, taught by those people that are where you want to be. So my problem with school is, why am I learning about all these unnecessary facts, but I'm not learning how to build credit? I'm not learning how to make payments on time. I'm not learning how to get a home and what a home is useful for, how it can be used to create valuable assets. They don't teach me that. And the people teaching me these weird things aren't even in the position I want to be in. So if I want to be a millionaire, I want to be taught how to be a millionaire by a millionaire, and I want to go to that class. So
Facts.
yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go on to my next topic that we have for society concepts. Community / segregation / division. I find community to be very important to me personally, and I feel like in our current society, community is basically a segregated thing. It's not so much aggressive as it was back then, but it's segregated through wealth, through race, through sexual orientation. There's a lot of different categories that we're divided through, and I think that we need to find more ways to bring each other together, because it seems like, speaking for myself as a black man, we're very disconnected with social media, and there's no community. It's just disconnection. It's just work, go home, repeat, and there's no communal thing. So that's all I had to say for that.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I don't think there's any community in this. When I first came from Ghana, Africa to America, I remember they were teaching me English classes, and like they had said something like, which one is America supposed to be? One of the answers was a melting spot or a melting pot. And then the other answer was like a salad. The other answer was like a homogeneous soup. Look, the right answer was supposedly a melting pot. So that means all communities of all heritages, cultures are supposed to come together and kind of just embrace each other and be one and share each other's loving for whatever. But that's not how it is. Everything is so subjectively segregated. Like, you believe one thing, I believe another thing, and that's it. We'll go to the deaths, we'll fight for what we believe, but stay away. You feel me? That's how it is now. It's like, if you don't believe what I believe, then you are to be outcasted and hated. Instead of a melting pot where, hey, you can have your vital differences with me, we can have different opinions, but at the end of the day, we can still exist in harmony. But is that even a thing, is my question.
And I will say this, just to add on to what he's saying, the fact that we can't agree to disagree without wanting to kill each other or segregate is a huge red flag, because you can have entirely different belief systems and still get along very well and still have community. I just think the agenda is to just watch people struggle, separate people, divide them with hatred, divide them with fame, divide them with money, and watch everyone destroy each other. And I don't think there's not very many good true leaders, not very many positive leaders. It's a lot of negativity circling around in the media. So
yeah, that's a good point.